Hello again, it's time for my attempt at today's Yeardle puzzle, where I'm trying to guess what year from history these events happened. After each guess, it will give me a colour clue as to how close I am, and we've got to get there spot on in 8 guesses or fewer. So let's see how we get on. Apologies in advance for my pronunciations, as usual. So today's clues are consuls, Publius Cornelius Dolabella and Gnaeus Domitius Calvinus Maximus. Second clue, at the Battle of Lake Vadimo, Roman forces finally quell the allied Etruscans and Gauls. And then the final clue, General Lian Po of the state of Zhao defeats an army of the state of Qi and captures the city of Yangqin. Now, this is definitely not something that they talked us about in history. This is going to be potentially a BC. This is a long time ago, I think. I have absolutely no idea where to start with this. Let's just go for 200 BC and see what happens. And I'm within 200 years, which I'm very relieved about. So that's a good start. The reason that I chose specifically 200, I thought it might be closer to about 60 BC. That was my first instinct. But I went for 200 because now I know I'm within 200 years, so it's definitely BC. So at least we've narrowed that bit down. So we're at least 40 years off. So it's either earlier, or if it's later, then it's somewhere between 0 and 160. So I'm going to try 120. I'm not going to try the exact midpoint, because then if we're, say, within 40 years, I won't know which way to go. So I'm going to try 120. And I'm still within 40 years. No, sorry, I'm still at least 40 years off. So that means it can't be anywhere between 120 and 200. And it can't be anywhere as close as 80. So it has to be somewhere between 0 and 80. Or possibly between 240 and 320. But let's try 0 to 80 first. Let's try... Well, I said minus 60 was my first instinct, so let's try that. And I've gone the wrong way, so that's good to know. So it's before 260, but we were within 200 years with this guess. So that means it's at the earliest 320 BC. So it's at least 260 and at most 320. So how can we narrow this down further? Let's try 310. And I'm still at least 10 years off. But that means, that's why I chose specifically 310, because we know it can't be any earlier than 320 BC from this clue. If it can't be earlier than 320, but we're at least 10 years off, then it has to be 300 to 260. So let's try 290. And we're now within 10 years, so that's helpful. But we're still at least 3 years away. I'm not very confident here. I'm going to have to try 295. But it could still be a bit later. It could be 285 or something like that. And there we go, I'm at least 10 years off as well. So if it's at least 10 years off this, so that means it has to be after 285. But it's within 10 years of this, so the latest it can be is 280. So we've got 2 guesses left. It's either 280, 81, 82, 83 or 84. We've only got 2 guesses left, and we've got, I think, 5 years. So I think we just have to pick 2 of those years and see what happens. What did we say? 280 to 285. Let's try 282. Oh, I'm 1 to 2 years off. It can still be 80, 81, 83 or 84. Let's just try 280. No, let's make sure it's BC. It's definitely not 280 AD. Oh, I was far away again, so it was 283. To be fair, even after this clue, I still didn't know whether it was 283 or 284, so it could have potentially taken me another 2 guesses. So that's a failure. I was only 83 years off with my first guess, so not terrible. Although actually I said I was gaming the system and 60 BC was my first instinct, so it was pretty awful. But at least it was BC. It's not nice if I'd guessed BC and it was actually AD or vice versa. So I wasn't a million miles away, but I was far enough away that that does not count as a success. Let me know if you did better than I did. You can't have done worse. And thank you for watching, and bye for now.